Shadows over Zalem. The movie opens with a sweeping aerial view of Zalem, now revealed in full detail, majestic, decaying, and heavily guarded. Alita, standing at the foot of the Zalem transport shaft, recalls Hugo's final words. Driven by vengeance and truth, she prepares to ascend, her berserker body gleaming under the artificial sun. Meanwhile, Nova's mind is fractured. His consciousness is spread across multiple android shells. Zalem's ruling class, long thought dead, is shown to exist in suspended AI form, controlling society through Nova. Below, the city of Iron reawakens with rumors of war, freedom, and rebellion. Alita connects with a group of ex-hunter warriors seeking justice. A mysterious woman known only as Valeria emerges, claiming she once knew Alita during the Wars. Dr. Ito warns Alita that reclaiming Zalem will not just mean facing Nova, but herself. With a heavy heart, she climbs the shaft alone, entering the belly of the beast. The resistance of the sky. Alita discovers a hidden rebellion already brewing inside Zalem, led by rogue scientists and former defectors. They call themselves the Skyborn, and their leader is a bioengineered warrior named 𝗕𝗁𝗶𝘁𝗁𝗹. 𝗕𝗁𝗁 tells Alita that Nova is no longer just a man. He has become a distributed neural network embedded in Zalem's core. To kill Nova, Alita must disable his digital soul, which requires access to the legendary Heaven Protocol. The Skyborn are building a weapon to sever Nova's link from Zalem, but they need Alita's help to power it. Among the Skyborn is a teenage girl named Mara, who claims to be Nova's daughter. Alita senses truth in her claim, but also a hidden agenda. Meanwhile, the elite guardians of Zalem, cybernetic enforcers with godlike strength, hunt any sign of rebellion. Alita volunteers for a covert mission to retrieve the last component of the Heaven Protocol. 𝗕𝗁𝗁 warns her, if Nova senses her intent, he will awaken his true form. Ghost of 𝗕𝗁𝗁. Venturing into the underchambers of Zalem, Alita uncovers an ancient 𝗕𝗁𝗁 memory vault. Inside, she relives haunting battlefield memories from the Mars War, including the betrayal that ended her elite squad. She sees herself fighting alongside Valeria, confirming the mysterious woman's claim. Valeria was once Alita's second-in-command, until she turned against the 𝗕𝗁𝗁 High Command. One shocking revelation emerges. Nova was originally a 𝗕𝗁𝗁 scientist who defected to Earth. Alita realizes the war she fought was based on manipulation from both sides. The memory vault overloads her mind, leaving her unconscious for hours. She is rescued by Mara, who reveals she has inherited Nova's ability to manipulate digital space. Mara offers to help Alita, but only if she promises not to kill Nova. Yet, conflicted, Alita agrees, while secretly preparing for war. The awakening of Nova. Nova detects Alita's interference and forcibly injects his consciousness into a new cybernetic form, Nova Prime. Nova Prime is towering, sleek, and fueled by synthetic rage. He declares Alita a virus to be erased. He unleashes the Sentinel Choir, biomechanical assassins capable of hacking cyberbrains mid-battle. Zalem descends into martial law, with citizens monitored by constant drone surveillance. Alita barely escapes a Sentinel ambush and returns to the Skyborn's hideout. 𝗕𝗁𝗁 reveals that Nova is linked to every digital network on Earth and the floating colonies beyond. The only way to end him is to overload his core using Mara's neural signal. But Mara must be willing to confront her father, something she has never dared. Alita insists on going back to Iron City to recruit one final ally. Dr. Ito, still alive and in hiding, is her only hope of reversing Nova's latest upgrades. Return to Iron City. Alita descends back to Iron City, now under tight surveillance by Zalem enforcers. The once vibrant markets are lifeless, and posters label her a fugitive and destroyer. She finds Dr. Ito working in secret, building prosthetics for wounded children. Though heartbroken by her choices, he helps her install a new fusion reactor in her heart core. This allows her body to withstand direct neural combat against Nova. They are soon ambushed by Zalem's Deathbringers, but 𝗕𝗏 activates a defense barrier just in time. Alita confesses that she still dreams of Hugo and fears losing herself completely to war. 𝗕𝗏 encourages her. You were built to protect, not to destroy. Even rage can have purpose. They discover a map leading to the Heaven Chamber, a forbidden data tower above Zalem. Alita heads back, ready for the final phase of the battle, the Heaven Chamber. The Heaven Chamber floats above Zalem like a forgotten god, shrouded in plasma storms and magnetic shields. Alita, Mara, and 𝗕𝗏 use stealth flyers to breach its outer defense, barely escaping a Sentinel patrol. Inside, they find ancient 𝗕𝗏 technology fused with human biotech, proof that Nova has been experimenting for decades. The chamber holds a data crystal known as the Axion Core, a device said to rewrite the soul. To access it, Mara must merge with its interface, risking total assimilation. While she syncs with the core, Alita and 𝗕𝗏 battle dozens of corrupted Guardian drones. Mara survives the merge, unlocking coordinates to Nova's physical brain, hidden in Zalem's center. But she also sees glimpses of the future, where Earth burns and Alita stands alone atop a shattered world. The crystal warns, one must fall so that the many may rise. Alita vows to change fate, even if it means losing herself. Rebellion ignites. The Skyborn rebellion erupts into full-blown warfare inside Zalem. Alita rallies rebel fighters, hunter warriors, and even former enemies who now see Nova as a threat to all. Valeria returns, revealing she has secretly built an army of rogue 𝗕𝗏 war machines beneath Iron City. 𝗕𝗏, though skeptical, agrees to a temporary alliance, but warns Valeria may have her own endgame. Nova Prime unleashes a psychic wave across the city, turning thousands of cyber-enhanced citizens into drones. Alita narrowly avoids the pulse, thanks to her new fusion reactor shielding. The rebels mount a daring assault on Nova's broadcasting spire, crippling the signal. Mara begins to doubt whether her father is savable or already lost. Zalem quakes as Nova activates his final failsafe, the Core Fall Protocol. If triggered, it will crash Zalem into Earth, wiping out everything below. The fall of 𝗕𝗏. 𝗕𝗏 leads the first wave into Nova's citadel, but falls into a trap. Nova Prime appears in a monstrous mech suit built from stolen 𝗕𝗏 tech, and Skyborn remains. 𝗕𝗏 fights valiantly, using his neural-linked armor to hold Nova at bay. But Nova hacks into 𝗕𝗏's mind mid-battle, forcing him to relive the deaths of his loved ones. Overcome by grief, 𝗕𝗏 loses control and is consumed in a biomech explosion. Alita and Mara arrive seconds too late, witnessing 𝗕𝗏's death. Mara tries to rescue what remains of 𝗕𝗏's consciousness, but Nova absorbs it into himself. Enraged, Alita attacks with full fury, damaging Nova's exosuit and forcing him to retreat. Valeria takes command of the rebellion, calling for a full siege. But Alita senses something is wrong. 𝗕𝗏's memories are alive inside Nova. The siege of Nova's core. The rebels push deeper into the heart of Zalem, losing many to traps and automated defense systems. Valeria reveals she has planted a bomb in Nova's neural chamber to end it all in one blow. Alita objects, knowing Mara's signal is the only way to shut him down without massive casualties. Valeria accuses Alita of going soft, reminding her of the warrior she used to be. Tensions escalate, but Mara brokers peace, begging for time to try her way first. The group splits. Valeria leads a team to plant the bomb, while Alita and Mara infiltrate Nova's core directly. Alita is plagued by hallucinations of Hugo, 𝗕𝗏, and her past selves. She realizes Nova is invading her mind, trying to fracture her identity. But she focuses on Hugo's final smile and breaks through the illusion. They arrive at the gateway to Nova's true body, guarded by the monstrous Final Choir. The Final Choir. The Final Choir is unlike anything Alita has seen. 6 cybernetic titans fused with the minds of ancient 𝗕𝗏 tacticians. Each represents a flaw Alita tried to overcome: doubt, rage, loss, betrayal, mercy, and pride. One by one, she faces them, not with brute force, but by outsmarting them, using lessons from her journey. 𝗕𝗁 assists by manipulating the internal gravity fields, buying precious seconds during each clash. The final choir unit, Pride, nearly overwhelms Alita, mirroring her exact combat style and memories. Alita unleashes a new move, blending martial arts with Iron City street fighting, something Nova could never predict. She wins, but at a cost. Her fusion core begins to destabilize. 𝗕𝗁 offers to drain her own signal to keep Alita alive, risking her own mind. Alita refuses, trusting 𝗕𝗁 to deliver the final blow to Nova. They breach the last door and enter the 𝗕𝗁, where Nova's true consciousness resides. Inside Nova's mind, the 𝗕𝗁 is a surreal digital construct, a maze of memories, code, and echoes of those Nova has consumed. Alita and 𝗕𝗁 enter a shared mental battlefield, where Nova appears as a godlike entity with Hugo's face. He tempts Alita, offering to resurrect Hugo through quantum simulation if she surrenders. She resists, but 𝗕𝗁 hesitates, drawn to her father's promise of peace and power. Nova shows 𝗕𝗁 a world without war, where she rules beside him. Alita speaks directly to 𝗕𝗁's heart, reminding her that freedom without truth is still a cage. In a stunning moment, 𝗕𝗁 turns on Nova, piercing his neural cortex with her signal. Nova roars, his illusions fracturing as the digital space begins collapsing. Nova reveals one last truth. He created Alita as a failsafe to destroy him when the time came. Alita, shaken, realizes she was never just a warrior. She was key. Sacrifice. With Nova destabilized, the 𝗕𝗁 begins to disintegrate. 𝗕𝗁 urges Alita to escape, but Alita chooses to stay, believing she must end it herself. She uploads her core code into the vault, fusing it with Nova's system. This triggers a feedback loop that begins erasing Nova from every network. Nova's final words are not rage, but sadness. We could have saved it all together. As his code vanishes, he releases all stolen memories, including Hugo's real last thoughts. Alita sees Hugo smiling, whispering, "Be free." Her body collapses in the physical world, lifeless. Only her mind remains inside the vault. Valeria arrives, witnessing 𝗕𝗁 clutching Alita's body and weeping. The rebellion has won, but the price was unimaginable. Aftermath. Zalem powers down completely for the first time in history. The floating city begins descending, but controlled, not crashing. Valeria uses the tech to stabilize its orbit and turn it into a free zone. The Iron City below celebrates, though many mourn the cost to the victory. 𝗕𝗁, now regarded as a symbol of peace, declines leadership and disappears. Valeria begins rebuilding with Ito's help, vowing never to repeat the sins of Zalem. Statues are erected to honor the fallen, 𝗕𝗁, 𝗕𝗁's mother, and Alita. Whispers spread of Alita's consciousness still existing in the net, watching over them. Some say she still walks in the dreams of children, protecting them from digital ghosts. Ito leaves one final message on her statue. She was more than a weapon. She was a soul. Echoes of the net. Weeks pass, and Zalem becomes a neutral sky city governed by a council of former rebels and Iron City delegates. But strange anomalies begin appearing in global cyberspace. Fragments of Alita's voice, flickering images of her in dreams. Dr. Ito begins researching these events and concludes that Alita's consciousness was not destroyed, it was digitized. Using backup data from her Berserker core, he attempts to recreate her physical body. Meanwhile, 𝗕𝗁 travels the remnants of Earth, disabling rogue tech left behind by Nova. She begins experiencing vivid visions, Alita guiding her through danger, offering counsel, almost like a guardian angel. 𝗕𝗁 theorizes that Alita is alive inside the 𝗕𝗁𝗫𝗁𝗔, a digital layer between time and reality. Valeria fears bringing her back could risk reactivating the Heaven Protocol, but Ito pushes forward. He completes the reconstruction of her body and places the final 𝗕𝗁 crystal inside. All that's left is a neural spark. The question remains, will she remember who she was? Rebirth. On a stormy night, lightning strikes the tower housing Alita's reconstructed body. The lab lights flicker as the fusion core hums, then stabilizes. Alita opens her eyes, gasping as if awakening from deep water. But something is different. Her memories are fragmented, scattered across timelines. She doesn't speak at first, only watches the rain fall as if seeing it for the first time. Ito weeps with relief, but keeps his distance, unsure if this is truly his Alita. Over the next days, she trains her body back to strength, but avoids all talk of Nova, Zalem, or 𝗕𝗁. 𝗕𝗁 returns and sits silently with her, playing old street tunes from Iron City. At last, Alita smiles faintly and whispers, "Thank you for bringing me back." But deep inside, she still hears Nova's last words and fears he may not be fully gone. Warnings from the stars. A transmission reaches Earth, encrypted in ancient URM dialect, coming from Jupiter's moon Ganymede. It speaks of a rogue URM war fleet awakening from cryo-sleep, unaware the war is over. The fleet's AI has declared Earth an enemy of the Empire and is en route to reclaim or destroy it. Valeria, once a URM commander, recognizes the signal. It's from Legion Theta, the most brutal fleet in URM history. They were presumed lost during the war, but now they return, thinking Earth still belongs to Nova. Ito proposes using Alita as a peace envoy, but she resists, fearing she'll be used as a weapon again. 𝗕𝗁 believes the digital knowledge stored within Alita could be the only key to stopping the fleet. Valeria offers to accompany Alita to Ganymede, but Alita insists she must go alone. Alita suits up once more, her armor sleeker, blending Iron City craftsmanship with URM design. She lifts off from the remains of Zalem in a starfighter, heading into space to face her own creators. Journey through the void. The journey to Ganymede is long and perilous. Alita encounters derelict warships and dead moons haunted by old tech. On board, she reconnects with pieces of her past, accessing hidden protocols in her neural map. She deciphers logs from URM fleets, revealing that Nova was only one of many scientists involved in Earth's manipulation. A hidden message from 𝗕𝗁, embedded in a URM distress beacon, reminds her, "You were never their weapon. You were always their answer." As she nears Ganymede, Alita dreams, floating in space, embraced by Hugo, who tells her not to lose herself. She awakens just as a URM dreadnought intercepts her ship. The fleet's leader, a cybernetic warlord named Commander 𝗕𝗁𝗃, demands surrender. Alita requests parley, but he laughs, declaring her a failed construct of the past. She challenges him to single combat by ancient URM code. 𝗕𝗁𝗃 accepts, intrigued, and prepares for war. Duel on Ganymede. The surface of Ganymede becomes the arena. Icy winds and shattered cities serve as their battleground. Alita and 𝗕𝗁𝗃 clash in a brutal display of power, grace, and memory. He mocks her attachment to humans, calling love her greatest weakness. But she counters that empathy is what gave her the strength to defeat Nova. As the duel intensifies, 𝗕𝗁𝗃 reveals he was programmed to erase all corrupted URM units, including Alita. She defeats him using a technique she developed with 𝗕𝗁's psychic influence, part mind, part metal. As he falls, 𝗕𝗁𝗃 transmits a last signal to the fleet. Stand down. The Angel lives. The URM warships halt their approach, awaiting further orders. 𝗕𝗁's voice echoes through the quantum channel, aiding in negotiating peace. For the first time in centuries, Earth and Mars face a future of unity, not domination. The new dawn. Back on Earth, news of Alita's victory spreads, uniting humans and cyborgs across continents. The floating cities of Earth begin collaborating with Mars colonies for shared technology and peace. Alita returns, hailed not as a weapon, but a symbol of evolution. 𝗕𝗁 begins a new school to train post-war children in ethics and AI safety. Valeria is named Earth's ambassador to the remaining fleet, forming a new alliance. Dr. Ito, proud but weary, retires to a peaceful corner of Iron City, sketching stars in the dirt. Alita visits Hugo's grave, leaving behind her original Damascus blade, her final goodbye to the past. She gazes toward the stars once more, not with pain, but with hope. A child asks her, "Are you an angel?" Alita smiles, "No, but I remember how to fly." The last transmission, post-credit scene. A black screen flickers with static, then boots up a hidden file deep within Nova's old network. A voice speaks, not Nova, but a woman. Phase 2 has been initiated. The Ascendants are watching. A hidden room on Ganymede lights up, showing multiple Alita-like figures in stasis, clones or successors. One opens her eyes, pure silver, glowing with alien code. Back on Earth, Mara senses a shift in the digital net, whispering, "Something just woke up." The stars pulse ominously as signals emerge from beyond the solar system. Unknown to Alita, the battle for freedom has only just begun. Title fades in over darkness. Alita will return. Cut to black. End credits roll.